I held my breath. I had pissed him off. Now we would see if my plan worked or if he killed me. He leapt forward. I dropped to the floor, but he was ready for it. Incredible speed, and he was on me, snarling, claws reaching, screaming in my face. I bunched my legs under my chest, or he would have been on top of me. He put one clawed hand on my knees and began to push. I tucked my arms over my knees, fighting him. It was like fighting steel that moved. He screamed again, high and hissing, spittle raining on me. He went up on his knees to get a better angle at forcing my legs down. I kicked outward, everything I had. He saw it coming and tried to move back, but both feet hit him square between the legs. The impact lifted him off of his knees, and he collapsed to the landing, claws scrambling on the stone. He was making a high, whining, breathy sound. He couldn't seem to get enough air. A second rat man came scrambling through the tunnel, and rats ran everywhere, squeaking and squealing. I just sat there on the landing as far away from the writhing blonde rat man as I could get. I stared at a few rat men, feeling tired and angry. Damn it, it should have worked. The bad guys weren't allowed to have reinforcements when I was already outnumbered. This one's fur was black, jet, absolute black. He wore a pair of jean cutoffs over his slightly bent legs. He motioned smooth and out from his body. I swallowed my heart, pulse thundering. My skin crawled with the memory of the small bodies sliding over me. My hand throbbed where the rat had bitten me. They'd tear me apart. Jean-Claude! The rats moved, a flowing brownish tide, away from the stairs. The rats ran squealing and shrilling into the tunnel. All I could do was stare. The giant rat hissed at him, gesturing with noses and paws at the fallen giant rat. She was defending herself. What were you doing? The rat man's voice was low and deep, slurred only around the edges. If I had closed my eyes, I might have said it was human. I did not close my eyes. The giant rats left, crouched, dragging their still unconscious friend. He wasn't dead, but he was hurt. One giant rat glared up at me as the others vanished into the tunnel. Its empty black eye glared at me, promised me painful things if we ever met again. The blonde rat man had stopped writhing and was lying very still, panting, hands cradling himself. The new rat man said, I told you never to come here. The first rat man struggled to sit up. The movement seemed to hurt. The master called and I obeyed. I am your king. You obey me. The black-furred rat began to stride up the stairs, tail lashing angrily, almost cat-like. I stood and put the cell door at my back for the umpteenth time that night. The hurt rat man said, You are only our king until you die. If you stand against the master, that will be soon. She is powerful, more powerful than you. His voice sounded weak, thready, but he was recovering. Anger will do that to you. The Rat King leapt, a black blur in motion. He jerked the rat man off of his feet, holding him with slightly bent elbows, feet dangling from the ground. He held him close to his face. I am your king, and you will obey me, or I will kill you. Clawed hands dug into the blond rat man's throat until he scrambled for air. The Rat King tossed the rat man down the stairs. He fell tumbling and nearly boneless. He glared up from the bottom of that painful, gasping heap. The hatred in his eyes would have lit a bonfire. Are you all right? The new rat man asked. It took me a minute to realize he was speaking to me. I nodded. Apparently I was being rescued. Not that I needed it. Of course not. Thank you. I did not come to save you, he said. I have forbidden my people to hurt for their vampire. That is why I came. Well, I know where I rate, somewhere above a flea. Thank you anyway. Whatever your motives. He nodded. You are welcome. I noticed a burn scar on his left forearm. It was the shape of a crude crown. Someone had branded him. Wouldn't it be easier just to carry around a crown and scepter? He glanced down at his arm, then gave a rat smile, teeth bare. This leaves my hands free. I looked up into his eyes to see if he was teasing me, and I couldn't tell. You try reading rat faces.